and welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. Today is Monday, January 27th. I'm Alison Donnelly.
Hi, and I'm Rob Churnside. Cecil County in the world. Guess what? It's been 3 weeks, Alison.
Yeah?
Since more than 3 weeks since New Year's, and I bet a lot of people have already broken their New Year's resolutions.
I bet. How's yours going?
Well, like many people, I want to try and adopt a healthy lifestyle, good diet, break bad habits, stuff like that.
Yeah.
How about you?
I've been trying to meditate, and it's really challenging, but
I got something that might help with that. It's
Yeah?
part of my healthy lifestyle.
Oh.
Hemp milk.
Oh. That's so interesting because I've been thinking a lot about how to
I feel very
cut back.
serene now. Kidding. So, it's good stuff. It's got a lot of calcium and all that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good for you, and it's has a much lower carbon footprint than dairy milk, for example.
Well, because of the cows, right?
Because of the cows.
And the methane.
And the methane. Yeah.
You don't want that. So you're going to meditate.
Yeah, I've been not here for everyone to see, but I've been working on it. After I work out, I'll then try to meditate for a few minutes and see how it goes.
More power to you.
Yeah. Well, I'll
Let's
let you
keep
know.
our
I'll let
viewers
you give
posted
me
on
another
that.
few weeks, and I'll let you know how it's going.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good stuff about that.
Yeah.
I'm a little too antsy for meditation.
Well, I think your hemp milk will help with that.
Medication, not meditation.
Oh, right. That's what I meant.
Yeah, right. So what's happening on the show tonight?
Well, we have Bill Coutz. He is the Cecil County Councilman from District 2. He's running for county executive, so he's here to talk about his aspirations and his candidacy.
And that election is November?
Yeah, well, the primary will be in April.
Okay, so he's running
April.
as a Republican.
He's running as a Republican, so he will be challenging our current county executive, Dr. Alan McCarthy, and then there are 2 other candidates, Bill Ewing and Danielle Hornberger, and then there's a Democrat who has filed to run also. So whoever is the Republican will face the Democrat in November.
Coming up quick.
Yeah.
So also on the show, you probably were wondering why I have my cowboy outfit.
I was wondering, you are looking particularly stylish and
Like
Western.
a Cajun cowboy.
Yes.
Anyway, we're having Chuck Briseno.
Cool. Who's he?
Genuine bona fide certified Texas cowboy with his band, or some of his band members are going to play some music for us tonight, and they're getting ready to go on a big tour.
Awesome. Oh, yeah. I can't wait to hear. Also coming up this week, we have the Bog Turtle Brewery opening on Friday in Rising Sun, so we'll be there.
Well, if Cecil TV is going to be there, I'm going to be there. Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
And then right after that, we have Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. That is Super Bowl Sunday.
Is it?
So if the Groundhog sees his shadow, the Titans are going to win, right?
Oh, yeah. Is that what we want to happen?
Is that the Titans?
Sure.
The Texans.
I have no idea.
We'll ask our guest from Texas because he'll probably know.
Yes. I hope so, because neither of us seem to know.
I know about the groundhog.
We'll be back after these messages. Good evening, and welcome back to 30 at 6 on Cecil TV. This week, we're here with Bill Coutz, 2nd District Councilman here in Cecil County. He's running for Cecil County Executive. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Alison. It's always a pleasure.
How are you?
I'm doing well, and you?
Great. I'm
We
doing
just had a nice conversation about our holidays, so
Yeah.
that was always a nice way to start things off.
Yeah, it was nice to catch up. So, I know you, but tell us about yourself.
Okay. As you said, I'm a councilman here in Cecil County in District 2. A lifelong resident. I've been here in Cecil County all my life. My father was a school teacher for 25 plus years, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. I had 5 kids in the family, so she had 5 jobs, I always say,
Yeah.
not just one. And she stayed there, with the kids until my father passed when he was just under 50. And then, believe it or not, she re-entered the workforce. And,
good for her.
And worked in a lot of administrative roles in the automobile industry. And so that was a shift for the whole family, to kind of organize us to keep things moving and productive, let's say. And I attended school here in Cecil County, ended up going to Frostburg State University, got degrees in business administration and political science there. and came back to Cecil County. And professionally, my career has been based mainly on business analysis and management and sales, and in a consultant's role for a lot of different businesses. We go in and take a look at businesses and the problems and issues they may have, help them reorganize and kind of reimagine themselves and become more efficient and productive. But I've always stayed here in Cecil County. It's been my home.
Yeah, what brought you back to Cecil County?
It's where I grew up. It's the values. It's the people that we were neighbors with, friends with. I've worked in Washington, D.C. and New York and Philadelphia and Baltimore and all around the regions. And there's a different atmosphere here in Cecil County. It's something you can't recreate. It's obviously part of the scenic beauty of it here, the rural, rather than urban environment, and that means a lot. And I think it's about family, and knowing the people that are your next door neighbors, and if something they needed, you're there for them, and vice versa. So that's always been what's kept me here in Cecil County. I've put a lot of miles on cars over the years. Traveling back and forth, store. right, and into work and back. And people have often asked me, why don't you just move down here? Because I like my neighbors. Yeah. I like being able to have a little bit of space, and my dog knows their dog, and our kids have known their kids, and our parents were friends, and it's community, and that's a tough thing to replace, and big part of the reason that I've always stayed here.
Yeah. So clearly you like it here.
I do.
Why are you running for Cecil County Executive?
For a lot of those same reasons. We're looking to do things in a way that we certainly are proud of what Cecil County has done, how we've grown, the economic development, how we've worked hard to maintain a rural legacy, and we want to make sure that that's preserved. We want to make sure that not just for today's generation, but tomorrow's generation, for the children that have grown up here and get to enjoy the same things we just talked about. We were talking about jobs and those kind of things, and while we have really turned the corner and we have job growth here, if you stop and think about it, a child born today, we don't even know what their job will be when they reach workforce age, whether that's 18 right out of high school or in a trade school at 25 or college. We don't know what those jobs will be yet. And while we are doing things to grow the job market here today, are we looking further enough into the future to know that we are creating jobs that will be important to them? Have we done the things to develop the technology that's fast and moving very, very rapidly nowadays? Are we looking into the future of less manual labor intensive jobs, and are we developing our labor pool to be prepared and be successful when those changes have come along? I don't want to see us set into a situation where we're not prepared. The main reason that I have decided to run for county executive is I'm just the same as those people we just talked about. I am a citizen here in Cecil County. I'm the same as those people that are working every day, trying to make, ends meet. And I think we talked about, their economies are not our federal economy or our state economy, even our local economy. Their economy is from the front door to the back door, and what happens in between those. Yeah, and it seems that to some degree we've actually kind of skipped over those folks. And it's about time that we brought some focus back to that and made sure that the people that were here originally in Cecil County are not superseded and overlooked by our fascination of bringing large corporations and these other types of warehouse and logistic jobs that we spoke of. We need to make sure that they're taken into consideration, that we have their needs accounted for. There are people out today that I'm sure are thankful that we've had a warm January, that we actually haven't had to fill the fuel tank one more time, that we didn't have to go out and maybe look for another winter coat because the child has grown out of that size and into the next size right after Christmas. Those are some of the things that have really driven me to take a consideration and run for the office of county executive.
In the recent article in the Cecil Whig about your candidacy, you raised concerns about the terms of the tax incentives for businesses achieved through enterprise zones and their impacts on middle-class taxpayers, the ones that you're talking about. How would you have negotiated those terms differently? What would you do differently?
So I think that the enterprise zone is one of the things that you're speaking of. They certainly were necessary, and we've talked about they were necessary to start the fire. We were at a situation, we were at a point in the economic life cycle of Cecil County where we were stagnant, that's for sure, and we were struggling to attract new companies and jobs to the workforce here in Cecil County, and we needed that kindling, we needed that something to start the fire, and that's what I see enterprise zones as. They give incentives, additional incentives, to the companies that are considering coming here to Cecil County and locating new operations or offices or a warehouse or whatever it is to bring them here. And I think we've reached a point now where we need to take into consideration the fire's burning. And at that point we need to make sure that we're not just at every juncture that there's an opportunity that comes about that someone's saying, hey, we'll just throw the tax incentives in there. Because unfortunately, those tax incentives aren't free. And they're paid for and fueled on the taxes of the citizens of Cecil County. And if not used judiciously and appropriately, they could become counterproductive because they will continue to drain the resources of the people that live here in the county, and at that point have they become counterproductive. So I'm not necessarily against tax incentive programs. I'm just against the overuse of them and funding them strictly from the tax rolls of the citizens of Cecil County.
What distinguishes you from the other candidates?
I think what we said before, that I am one of the citizens of Cecil County. I've lived here my whole life. I understand what it takes to keep a family going, to keep your economy from front door to back door, as we talked about, up and viable. While I've worked with large businesses and consulted with them, I've come back here and I've stayed here, and I think what sets me apart is I'm not driven by those large corporations, I'm not driven by the incentives that may be available to those people. I'm more driven by the people that are here. I care about people here. That's the main part that differentiates me from everyone else in the campaign.
Okay, Bill Coutz, thanks so much for being here.
Always a pleasure, Alison. Thank you very much.
And now, welcome back to 30 at 6. We have a musical treat for you. Chuck Briseno and one of his band members going to tell us about something new and exciting. Chuck, welcome, and Cody, welcome to 30 at 6.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks,
I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure entirely. I was just very fortunate that a couple weeks ago I was down at Granite Run Tap Room, and at their open mic, they're back in business and they're having an open mic on Thursdays. Oh, yeah. You happened to be performing and we talked.
We did. We were at the Granite Run Tap Room, Port Deposit, and we actually played there last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or in the afternoon from 2 to 6. And
nice.
We had a great crowd. They were super welcoming, and they really listened to what we were doing, and they really encouraged us to play a lot of our own stuff, and I think they really enjoyed it. So hopefully they come back to a couple more of our shows we have in Bel Air coming up. So
cool. Well, yeah. That's a real music room, and from what I heard from you the other night down there, you play some real music.
Oh, thank you.
So, but you have a full band called the...
So it's Chuck Briseno, and then we have the band is the Mile 57 Band.
And there's a little story behind it.
There is a story behind that, and we had a van. We were coming back from a show in East Texas to Missouri, where we're going to be based out of here in 10 days. So we're moving to Springfield, and we were coming back from Honky Tonk, Texas. We just got done playing with Josh Ward, and our van caught fire and burned to the ground while we were driving it. And we lost the whole van and all our clothes and grabbed the money from the shows that weekend, and that's about what we got out there with.
Made for a good album cover.
Made for a good album cover, and then when we were recording again in Oklahoma, we recorded with Mike McClure. Our van, the alternator went out, and when it died, I had the gas pedal as far as we could go, and we pulled over, and when the sun came up, we went and looked out behind the trailer in the van, and 10 foot behind the trailer was the black spot where the first van burned down, and this was in a matter of months.
So don't go down Highway 44 anymore. Take an alternate route.
Yeah, it was an
So
interesting story.
I heard you say that you had done some recording out there.
So we did 2 albums with Mike McClure at the Boo Hatch Studio and Ada. Mike was with the Great Divide for a long time, and he does his own stuff, and he's a legend. He's legendary down there in the Red Dirt scene, and I was just so grateful to have the opportunity to work with him. And then we just recorded our 3rd record with Scott Von Ensign in Baltimore.
Obscura Sound Studio.
Obscura Sound, and it's kind of a word of mouth thing, but he's been doing this for 20 years, and he toured as a musician and has a lot of experience, and probably the best person we've ever worked with. And we hadn't worked with a whole lot of people, but he was really good for what we were trying to do. And this new record has definitely put us, I feel, in a different place where we want to be.
So Cody, you were on that new record too.
Yeah.
Playing your violin. What do you call it? Violin or fiddle?
Well, violin and a fiddle are the same thing. Fiddle's just a hillbilly slang term for a violin. But I live in Springfield already, so I flew to Maryland, and I was there for 2 months?
2 months, he stayed with me.
We worked on we do 11 songs?
We did, yeah. We did 10 songs on the album, but we also did a couple extra just to put something out in the meantime.
Cool. So you recorded that in Baltimore. You get ready to hit the road and relocate to
Springfield, Missouri.
Missouri.
February 1st, we'll be at Black Eyed Susie's. That'll be kind of our going away party. And then we will stop at Nashville on the 4th. And then we have a show in East Texas on the 8th with Josh Ward again. So hopefully no more van fires. And then we'll be back in Springfield for a week or two, kind of ramp up, put together our light show, and get everything kind of settled in, inventory everything, and make sure everything is insured. And then we have a 3-week run in Texas. So they'll kick that off in Houston, and then we'll go all the way around. I think it's 3,000 miles is going to be on the tab for that trip. So
Living the dream.
Living in a new bus.
and then
And there's 5 folks in the band. I got that right.
we have 5 people in the band. Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
you'll be touring around didn't you say you booked a few shows
We
besides
booked-
what you told me?
So we booked 50 shows in the last 4 weeks. We had a really good friend of ours from Scooter Brown Band that I visited with in Nashville, and he set me up with another friend, and he's a Marine veteran, and I'm an Army veteran, and he set us up with another Army veteran, Nick Sterling, and he has his band, Nick Sterling and the Nomads. They're up in Montana and Idaho a lot.
Right.
So he gave us a lot of contacts, and we just shared contacts with venues. So we're planning a summer run into Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Illinois, Wisconsin, North Dakota, and then we'll try to make our way back here July 4th to Maryland. So that's going to be a
great.
really, really long one, but looking forward to seeing all that scenery, going out to Yellowstone. I've never been to Yellowstone. So.
Oh, you're in for a treat out there. But you spoke of your military experience, and one of the songs you'll be playing tonight is based on some of that.
Sure. So we're gonna play "Folded Flag" for you. It's a song that's very special. It's definitely for, I don't know if anyone knows what a Gold Star family is, but when you lose a service member overseas, basically makes you a Gold Star family. Being close to Dover, that's where a lot of their service members would come in and be prepared to come back home to their final resting place. And when I was in Afghanistan in 2007, I was there for 13 months with the 173rd Airborne Brigade. And there's a documentary called Restrepo that kind of highlights that. So check that out. My friend Sebastian Junger and Tim Hetherington, who's now passed, did that documentary. And we lost 43 people on our deployment. And that song is, when you go into that environment, I know a lot of us write a letter and you give it to your friend.
Right.
And it's if something happens, just in case. And this song is about the Gold Star family getting the notification and then getting the last letter, and it's the spouse getting the letter and reading it and saying it's okay for you to move on and be happy because I'll always be there with you. But if I could give all this stuff back, these medals and things, just to be with you again. And it's a strong message, but it's a strong message of strength. And it's military families, they definitely endure things that people that don't have to move around and deal with deployments and stuff like that have to endure. I mean, it's a big reason why I never got married while I was in the military. I never felt like I wanted to take anybody through that. And but as a songwriter, you should be able to tell a story. I think it's a strong story to tell, and it's definitely hard. We don't play the song all the time, but definitely, like yesterday, the crowd that was there, they were captivated by what we were doing, and I had their attention, and I really wanted to share something special with them. And so it was wonderful to do that, and they really received it well. And that's why I love doing music, because I want to tell the story, and I feel like I got a lot of stories to tell, you know.
Right. Well, it sounds like it, and we look forward to hearing them.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you both.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Hi, my name is Chuck Briseno. I'm here with 1/5 of the Mile 57 band, Mr. Cody Marriott. The song we're going to do first here for you is called Just One Dance. thinks two steps too late to give our love a chance. Hold on to what we had, just one dance, just one dance, just one Thank you very much. That's a song, that's the first track off our new record called You Should Be Mine. The next song we're going to play is You Should Be Mine. It is the title track of our new record. You can find it anywhere that you stream music. All right. One, two. Every now and then, I think I'm gonna go away. Take some time to find myself. Everybody knows when they need a change. No destination in mind, no sense of time. 'Cause we gotta learn, we gotta feel. With every bone in my body, I'm spinning my wheels till it hurts. Can't take no more. You turn my heart stone into a wide open door, and I can't hold back. Not this time, 'cause you should be mine. I've been running up and down on the same old streets that we used to run. I keep chasing down the memory how we used to be. We had love, so much fun. 'Cause we gotta learn, we gotta feel. Every bone in my body, I'm spinning my wheels till it hurts. Can't take no more. You turn my heart of stone into a wide open door, and I can't hold back. Not this time, 'cause you should be mine. You should be mine. We gotta learn, we gotta feel. With every bone in my body, I'm spinning my wheels till it hurts. Can't take no more. You turn my heart of stone into a wide open door, and I can't hold back. Not this time, 'cause you should be mine. You should be mine. Thank you. The next song we're going to play is Folded Flag, and I just want to dedicate this song to all the Gold Star family members and anyone that has a service member that is dedicated and paid the ultimate sacrifice for their country. And this song is for you. It was cold in December when I wrote her a letter to let her know I'd love her till the end. The year gets so lonely, no one there to hold me. I can't wait till you're in my arms again. When summer came, it wasn't me at the door. Fell to your knees on the floor. I trade that folded flag just to see you, feel you. Give all my medals back for a kiss. Turn back time to replace the memory of leaving. Come back home to the woman that I miss. One more. Hard to try and move on. Impossible it seems. The words keep repeating in my mind. Go and find a new love, someone new to dream of. 'Cause I'll be with you till the end of time. It wasn't me at the door. Fell to your knees on the floor. Trade that folded flag just to see you. All my medals back for a kiss. Turn back time to replace the memory of leaving. past. Never thought I'd be in your past. A tree that folded flag just to see you, to feel you. Give all my medals back for a kiss. Turn back time to replace the memory of leaving, and come back home to the woman that I miss. And come back home to the woman